and include extraneous material on the bill.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of my bill, H.R. 5100. This bill extends two programs critical for American innovation, the Small Business Innovation Research, SBIR, and the Small Business Technology Transfer, STTR, programs for 1 year. I want to thank my colleagues, Ranking Member Velasquez and Committee on Science, Space, and Technology Chairman Babin, and Ranking Member Lofgren for co-sponsoring this bipartisan legislation. Since the 1980s, the SBIR and the STTR programs have fueled American innovation by providing early-stage funding to small businesses. These investments have led to groundbreaking technologies to grow our economy and strengthen our national defense. SBIR and STTR programs have been regularly reauthorized by Congress to include many reforms to drive small business. However, the programs will expire at the end of this month on September 30th, just 15 days away. As my colleagues and I continue to work towards the goal of a long-term reauthorization, one thing has become clear: time is working against us. We cannot allow these critical programs to expire. So failing to extend these programs would be a disservice to small businesses across the country. Put simply, American innovators cannot operate in uncertainty, and national security cannot afford an innovation gap. As chairman of the Small Business Committee, I'm committed to ensuring these programs remain strong and uninterrupted. H.R. 5100 will allow Congress additional time to work towards the meaningful long-term and bipartisan reauthorization, while also ensuring that small businesses can continue to do what they do best, and that's innovate. Thank you again to my colleagues in the House for joining me to introducing this legislation. Their partnership shows the SBIR and the STTR programs' strong bipartisan support and our shared commitment to keeping America at the forefront of discovery. I urge my colleagues to support this commemorative common sense extension, and I can reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman from New York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentlewoman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of H.R. 5100, a simple bill to extend the Small Business Innovation Research and Small Business Technology Transfer programs for an additional year. Over the course of its 40-year history, the SBIR and STTR have been among the federal government's most effective engines for driving innovation. By channeling a small portion of research and development budgets into highly competitive awards, the government is able to utilize our nimble and innovative small businesses to drive forward technological innovation and meet critical agency needs. These programs have been endlessly scrutinized since their founding, but economic analysis has shown an overwhelmingly successful program with an outside return on investment for taxpayers. Unfortunately, the SBIR and STTR programs are set to expire on September 30th. If these programs are allowed to expire, agency will lose the ability to issue new awards, cutting off a vital source of early-stage funding for small businesses. It would also delay commercialization of promising technologies and weaken the United States' competitiveness with foreign adversaries. Despite this fast-approaching deadline, negotiations for a comprehensive reauthorization are ongoing. And while I attempted to start the process early by introducing a bill last December, formal negotiation didn't start until last month. There are many areas of overlapping priorities between the majority and minority on this bill. We share a desire to lower the barrier to entry for new entrants and bridging the valley of death for the most promising ideas. However, there are some outstanding issues we're working through that will take additional time. That is why I'm grateful to our chairman, Mr. Williams, as well as Chairman Babin and Ranking Member Lofgren for their support for a one-year extension. This program has always been bipartisan, and it is imperative that we continue to work together to bridge our differences in a thoughtful manner. A one-year extension is the most responsible course forward, one that 5 out of 6 corners agree on. It gives agency and small businesses the certainty they need while giving us adequate time to make the best decisions we can. While we have heard arguments that this could be added to the NDAA, the timeline simply does not make sense. The programs will expire long before final passage of the NDAA, and doing so will result in a lapse of the program, something that has never happened before. A one-year extension does not mean that the work ends. We will continue to be at the table, ready to negotiate and ultimately pass a bipartisan, bicameral, comprehensive reauthorization. I urge my colleagues to vote yes, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman reserves. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield time to my good friend from the great state of Texas and the chairman of the Science, Space, and Technology Committee, Chairman Babin, for as much time as he may consume.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate it. I want to thank my good friend from Texas as well, Chairman Williams. The Small Business Innovation Research, SBIR, and Small Business Technology Transfer, STTR, programs are the federal government's largest source of funding for small businesses focused on early-stage technology development and commercialization. They offer small business an opportunity to participate in federal research and development, facilitating the transition of federally funded R&D into innovative products and services. And for this reason, these programs are often referred to as America's Seed Fund, as they invest in research and emerging technology ideas that may be too risky for private sector funding. These SBIR and STTR programs are funded from set-asides of the extramural research budgets at federal agencies, providing billions of dollars in awards every year. This substantial investment by taxpayers necessitates diligent oversight by Congress to ensure that these programs are operating efficiently and are protected from theft and abuse by our adversaries, such as the Chinese Communist Party. The reauthorization Congress passed in 2022 for these programs addressed some vulnerabilities, but more work needs to be done. Both the Small Business Committee and the Science, Space, and Technology Committees are dedicated to addressing these issues and ensuring that taxpayer funds support American small businesses rather than being funneled to foreign adversaries. And while we continue our work, it is critical that we do not allow this vital program to expire. Therefore, we have introduced this one-year extension of SBIR and STTR programs and encourage you all to vote yes on this bill. I look very much forward to working with Chairman Williams, Ranking Member Velasquez, Chairwoman Ernst, Ranking Member Markey, Ranking Member Lofgren to get a full reauthorization completed and through Congress as soon as possible. I want to say thank you, and I yield back the balance of my time.
I reserve the balance.
The gentleman from Texas reserves. The gentlewoman from New York is recognized.
I reserve.
The gentlewoman from New York reserves. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we have no further speakers, and I'm prepared to close, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman from New York is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to close by reminding everyone that this is a bipartisan program that has never seen a lapse in its over 40 years history. The House is taking the responsible step of extending this program for a year to give us time to negotiate a longer-term reauthorization. I appreciate the partnership of Chairman Williams and of my colleagues on the Science, Space, and Technology Committee, Chairman Babin, and Ranking Member Lofgren, for keeping this vital source of capital for our nation's most promising innovators alive. And I look forward to continuing discussion in the coming weeks and months to reach a bipartisan agreement. Allowing this program to lapse is simply not an option. I encourage all my colleagues to support this common sense measure, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman yields back. The gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Ms. Velasquez. And I urge my colleagues to support this common sense legislation to continue uplifting small business innovation across America. I yield back.
The gentleman from Texas yields. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill H.R. 5100? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, two-thirds being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed. And without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.